Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. For those of you that tuned in earlier, I must apologize to you. This is the second take of the return of When Life Needs a Detox. I am Carol White. I am your life detox strategist. I owe everyone an apology, but when I was trimming and editing the video, I accidentally deleted it. So this is take two. So sorry. We're actually going to shorten this up. Today's topic is the 2020 presidential election was a hard fought battle, but the war rages on. This presidential election took so much out of everyone. It lasted from November 3rd to November 6th. That's like being in 96 hours worth of bad labor to bring a baby into the world. Well, what we did was, if we are diligent and if we stay on our game, we will have brought about a change in our country. But it's not up to one man and one woman. It is up to all of us to make a change in our country. Now, the change that we've made is not just for a Democratic president and not just for a Democratic House of Representatives. There are runoff elections to determine whether or not we have a Democratic Senate. Now, there are several states, I believe, that are going through this. I know the one that's most focused upon right now is Georgia. I would ask the people in Georgia not to be discouraged, not to lose hope, and not to lose that fire and that stamina to bring about the change you want to see in your country. Because with President Obama, we have seen how having a Democratic president and a Democratic House of Representatives means nothing if you have a Republican Senate in the middle blowing up the whole works. The House of Representatives can't get anything past the Senate to get to the president. So we have to be diligent. We have to stay on our game. We cannot lose hope. Now, the other thing that we have to look at is, while we have our House of Representatives and our senators in place, these politicians are not doing us any favors. We elected them to office. They are our employees. We hired them to do the job in our best interests. So we have to stop being complacent about, number one, who we've put in office, and number two, what kind of job they're doing while they're in office. We're going to have to keep up with what is important to us that goes through Congress, what goes through the House and the Senate. And we've got to let our politicians know, our employees know what is important to us. You see, the lobbyists have already figured out that politicians are employees, and that politicians are paid to do a job by their employers, which is supposed to be us. But when lobbyists come through, they come through with other incentives from big business. And essentially, when they make donations to campaigns, they're they are in effect buying a politician. So that politician has to go with who employs them, who pays them. But here's the thing. We hired them, not big business. We have to stay on our game, and we have to watch and evaluate our senators, our representatives, to make sure they're doing the job for us. And at the end of their 2-year probationary term, because that's what it is. If they want to continue for another 2 years, for another term, they've got to get through their 2-year probationary period. And it's at that time we give them their evaluation. If we reelect them, we're saying they did a good job. If we don't re-elect them, we're telling them you are dismissed, you're fired. You didn't do the job you're supposed to do. It is up to us to watch our elected officials to make sure they do the jobs for us that we have hired them to do. But this also means we have to keep up with the news, as much as I cannot stand the news. But we've got to keep up with the news, and we have to keep up with issues that are important to us. And we have to let our politicians know what's important to us. We have to let them know that they're merely an employee of the people, and that the people and their voice is what they're supposed to represent when they go to Congress, not the voice of the lobbyists, not the voice of big business. We're the ones that decide whether or not they keep their jobs. Now, there's also something I want to discuss. At the couple of days after the election, sometime last week, I'll put it that way, there was some radical supremacist on the news that was talking about getting rid of the inferior races so that the white race could go on and could thrive and evolve. Really, we really gonna do this? Listen, we have to be careful of them as well, because the white supremacists, the KKK, White Aryan Nation, they're all very dangerous groups. But here's the problem. It's not like back in the Jim Crow era or in the slavery era where they could simply run amok against blacks and Indians that had no equal firepower. In today's society, everyone of all races, of all colors, have access, legal access, and also illegal access to firearms. So everybody has access to firepower. This isn't going to be just running up on someone and saying, oh, we'll just drag them, behind our pickup truck until they're dead. No. If you're going to advocate a war, you need to look at this realistically. You may want to come after somebody, but you're going to come after people that have the right to bear arms, same as you. They're going to be training the same as you. And they are going to be prepared the same as you. We need to fight these battles in Congress, because blood on the streets is not going to help anybody. It doesn't make sense. We must be diligent, because When race wars started back in the day, let's just talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Black Wall Street. A white woman made an accusation against a black man. We don't know whether or not it was a justified accusation, but it was an accusation made. The black man was released, so I'm pretty sure that the accusation was considered false. But the whites were so enraged and so worked up that they met the man outside of the jail, strung him up, and then decided, well, now that we've killed one, why not kill them all? And they destroyed Black Wall Street. They killed hundreds of people, destroyed Black Wall Street. You're not going to find it that easy anymore. Everybody has access to everything. We've got to change our strategy. We've got to change how we look at people. We've got to change ourselves before we can change this country. And our country is in sore need of change. But it's not going to happen because we wish it so. It will happen because we demand it and make it so. We've got a lot of work to do. It would be nice if we worked together. But everybody's not going to think the same way. So for those of us that want this country to be better for all concerned, for all races, for all ethnicities, for all sexes, we have got to work together to make it happen. And we can. We are a great country. I know that there's a lot wrong with my country, but I'll say it again. This is my country. And I believe in my country. I don't want to live anywhere else. This is my country. My ancestors helped to build this. Matter of fact, my ancestors built most of this. This is my home. Nobody's going to make me leave it. I think this is a wonderful country. We got problems. We got major problems. But this is my country. I will defend it. I will make it better. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Tune in next week. We will have another topic for you. Don't know how you'll feel about it. You may like it. You may not. You may agree. You may not agree. But the one thing you will never be able to say is nobody ever informed me. I am Carol White, and this has been this week's episode of When Life Needs a Detox. I love you to the moon and back, and we will be together next week. I will see you soon. Bye-bye now.